Hi there everyone. I'm going to give you a quick tour of an exhibition that we are opening tomorrow, the 28th of June. The two artists, Jacki, Fewtrell, Gobert, and Hannah Goggs, aka the Moody Rabbit, will have a selection here of work which will be very appealing to all of you, I'm sure. Pink is the theme, very bright on this side and a little bit softer on the other side, but I'm sure you will enjoy this quick whip round which will give you an idea of size and colour and a little bit about each painting. So we'll start with Jacki's here, and this one is called Formal Living. Jacki layers pattern and colour in a way that feels playful yet deeply composed, and I think that that is a classic painting with this extra vibrance, which is always appealing in Jacki's work. They're very loose, they're very casual, they're very comfortable, and you'll see that right throughout Jacki's work. If we move along to the next painting, which is somewhat smaller, this one is 40 by 40 centimetres. It's called Sunday Lunch, and it's a tablescape. It's a joyful, soft palette tablescape. And the more I see that one, the more I just fall in love with it, because it really is it's full of contentment, which is a little different to the one next to it, which is much bigger and is titled Local Cafe Early Morning. It's inviting and it's casual, and I'm sure we've all been to a cafe early morning, looks just like that. So it gives you that real sense of belonging and yep, casual, comfortable, let's sit down, have coffee, love it. The one below is somewhat different. It's called Psychedelic Lounge Room, same size, but here you'll notice the confident use of pink and colour. It's not just decorative, it's a mood setter, almost like a personality in the room, like those two chairs to me have got personality. And that's a very quirky painting which I think would bring a lot of fun to a room. The one next to it, slightly smaller, is called View from Collaroy, a favourite of mine in the exhibition because it just reminds me of being on holidays. We've all been on holidays on the coast somewhere and looked out the window and seen that view. And that's a very casual, stylised view of Collaroy, and it could be anywhere along the coast of Australia though. Beautiful, beautiful painting. And next to it again, it's called Peat Street Interior. Inviting, stylised, whimsical. Again, that use of pink, it's the centerpiece of that painting, and of course with the hints of purple, just giving it that extra lift. Great little painting, that one. Next to it is another water view, and it's called View of the Huon River. And it's expressive and it's layered, and all of the paintings are textural. If you have a look, you can see that very thick use of paint, but as I said, layered as well. Sometimes the paint is layered on thick, and in other parts of the painting it's really quite thin, and so they're very expressive, and although they're very loose and casual, they have a very expressive, deep connected sort of feel to them. The next one, which is one of the larger paintings again in the exhibition, is called Indoor Greenhouse, and it's layers of pattern and colour, and it's sort of in a way that feels playful, and yet it's deeply composed, particularly with that chair. We've all got one of those chairs in the house somewhere, and it's a very comfortable painting. Sit back and look at that one all day. Next to that, same size painting, City Apartment Early Morning. It sort of echoes how a room feels more than how it looks. It's got a real character about it, that room, with the lamp on the wall, the pot plants, the books half opened. It's very comfortable, very thickly textured again, vibrant in colour. Sunday Afternoon, expressive and contemporary, a lovely interior scene with a more, it's not quite as textured as the one next to it, but again, lots of pattern, lots of colour, always Jacki's style, and yet very loose. The tiniest painting in this exhibition, Jacki's exhibition, is this one called London Pad. It's just quirky and vibrant, cute little painting. But it's the one underneath it, Chair Study Late Afternoon, which is one of, and again, another one of my favorites. I think it's bordering on abstraction. It has a rhythm in this painting here between objects and fabrics and empty space, which is really empty space. It's just patterned with that abstracted look about it. Very nice painting. So now we're going to move across to the other side of the exhibition room, and we're going to look at Hannah Goggs' paintings. Hannah lives in Queensland and previously lived in Western Australia, and she has a real connection with the Australian bush. And I think that's so obvious in all of Hannah's paintings. You see these soft, muted tones, always appealing, and again with a lot of pink. So I think the two artists sort of complement each other with their pink tones, but the way they use them is somewhat different. In some ways, the idea of each of them being a sanctuary, the bush sanctuary and the interior sanctuary. The top, these both 40 by 40 centimetres. The top one is titled Rosewood, and the one underneath is Lily's Creek. And they're both sort of muted pinks, but they speak volumes, soft feathers, early morning perhaps. Just that lovely connection with the birds. The one next to it is called Storybook. I think this work captures the stillness of the Australian bush and its habitat. And we have some interesting little birds in there, not sure what they are, but it's really a beautiful painting, particularly with those flashes of red, which I guess are the gumnuts flowering. Very, very cute. Now, this one is called What's So Funny? It's quirky and humorous, and it has a much softer palette, a softened palette, and it has a gentle humour, which I think is rather sweet. And again, even the greens in this one are soft, and the blue in the sky, I think that's one of the most appealing things about Hannah's paintings. There's that really lovely soft grey blue, which blends in beautifully with the pinks and the softened eucalyptus greens that she uses. The one next to it is the smallest painting in Hannah's collection, and it's called, I've got to find that one, it's called Bushflowers. And so you can see in that she paints with this softness that really draws you in. And I find that one very appealing, particularly with these, all the different layers of pink all blending in together. It's, and again, textured, lots of textures in them, and so they're thick and generous with the paint, and you can sort of see that Hannah really enjoys what she does when she paints them. There's lots of colour and movement. So this bigger one here is called Waterfall, and it is one of my favourites in there. I've got a few favourites in this exhibition, but this one particularly, I think it's got the cheeky birds, and yet there's a reverence here for both the bird and its habitat. So it's a joyful painting with lots of colour and lots of texture. And underneath it is another one which is very similar, and it's called Pink Buttons. Again, the pinks are soft and the birds are content and happy, and it's atmospheric and tender. It's really quite lovely. The next painting, much larger, is called Sydney Blue Gum, and I think it's a real charmer. I think it's subtle, poetic, it's earthy, and it's got a serene sense of bush and birds, painted with a softness that draws you in. Those colours together are divine. I mean, pink and yellow, who'd have thought it? But it's just so lovely. It is already sold, so don't have your heart set on this one, because it sold quite quickly, that one. Next to that, we have a smaller painting called Banksia Gully. Again, it's sort of the pink, black, cheeky birds, happy and joyful, as is the one next to it on the sandstone wall, and it's called Hickey Road, a very similar painting to its neighbour, and yet just a slightly different colour palette. That brings us to our last painting in this exhibition, and this is the star of the show. It's called By Candlelight. So I'll stand back so that George can move in with the camera. It's the star. It is the star of the show. It's a rather large painting, and it's a beauty. It's whimsical. It's colourful. It's got the splashes of red, adding to the exotic appearance and a real mixture of colour and energy, but always full of Australiana. It's just charming, that one. I sort of love it. I love the red. So that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed the walking tour. The exhibition is on until the 20th of July, and I hope to see you there.